In day one of creation, God created the light, and it was there. In day two of creation, God created the sky, the land, the ocean, and it was all there. In day three of creation, God created the trees and the flowers. In day four of creation, God created the time separating the sun and the moon. In day five of creation, God created the fish and the whales and the birds and different kinds of fish in the sea. In day six of creation, God created man and land animals and giraffes and elephants, and it was all there. In day seven of creation, God rested. So in the Garden of Eden, there were Adam and Eve, and the animals, and the flowers, the trees, but there were two trees in particular.
And there were the tree of life and the tree of knowledge and good and evil. And Adam and Eve ate from the forbidden tree of knowledge and good and evil, and they were cast out.
So God had to banish Adam and Eve from the garden. So after Adam and Eve, there was Noah. And God told Noah to build the ark. And the ark was built by some helpers. And God told Noah to get 2 of every creature. And Noah was in that boat for 40 days and 40 nights. 40 days and 40 nights. And after all that, finally he found land and saw the rainbow. And the rainbow stands for the promise that God has promised Noah. Going into Abraham, Abraham was actually the first person that God told him to go to the promised land, which was Canaan. And for Abraham to do that, he would need to leave his dad, which that was hard. So he did, and had a son at an old age. So God told him to kill his son. But when he was about to, God stopped him. So going into Moses, Moses was on a river in a basket that was found by the Pharaoh's daughter. And when he grew up, he was trying to get the Israelites back from Pharaoh. And Pharaoh kept saying no. So God put on 10 plagues, which was very brutal. Every single one of them. And the last one got Pharaoh to the heart. So he let the Israelites go. But he changed his mind and went after the Israelites. So when Moses saw that, he was stuck, he and the Israelites were stuck on the river, and he threw a staff down and the river opened, and the Egyptians drowned. So after that, when Moses went up to God on the mountain to go get the 10 Commandments, meanwhile the Israelites were worshiping the golden calf, which Moses wasn't really happy about that. So in David's story, the Philistines were actually fighting the Israelites, and Goliath wanted a challenger. So David went out there and he fought Goliath, and he had 5 stones and threw them, hit Goliath dead in the forehead. And when he hit Goliath dead in the forehead, Goliath fell forward, and David got his sword, which was much heavier than David was, and chopped his head off. Just absolutely just chopped his head off. And gave it to the king, as a special surprise. So Jesus, baby Jesus was in a manger. And he was in a manger because nobody wanted to take Mary and Joseph in. So when Jesus was 12, he went to the temple and talked to the elders about God and was teaching to the elders at 12 years old.
21 years later, when he was on the cross, he died for our sins, which was...
It's very sad. And to see Jesus Christ on the cross, dead, or see pictures of him like that, it's just very sad to see him because he died for our sins. And it was insane, and a lot of miracles were being done, and they still killed him, which was crazy to me because when I would read the story, it would be amazing. All these miracles and things that Jesus was doing and crowds that Jesus had on him. It was like outstanding. And I remember one miracle that happened. There was a woman that was very ill, and she went to Jesus, and she was in the crowd, and she was trying to get to Jesus, but she was stuck in the crowd. So she touched his garment, and when she did that, she was automatically healed. And when I heard that spoke to me. And that was just amazing how God can do that. And when I hear a lot of other miracles, just raising up the dead, like, I don't get how they killed him, or how they can kill him, and how they can't say he's the Messiah, but they hear and they see about Jesus doing these things. And one of the most craziest things I've ever heard in the Bible was when Peter was trying to save Jesus. One of the things that Peter did was cut off the soldier's ear, and Jesus automatically grabbed his ear and put his ear back on the soldier's head. And right there, man, if I was the soldier, I would have been like, you really are the Messiah. You really because nobody has ever put an ear back on somebody's head. That's unknown. Nobody can do that but God.